understand desperate parents' emotions.
I feel like the staff here at this jail don't care about people.
Our big story tonight.
A lot of just lies in general about what's coming and what they're planning.
All this and more.
Tonight on Grady Newsource.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Breaking news, the threat from a gas leak here on the University of Georgia's North Campus is over now.
We take you live now to Grady Newsource reporter Olivia Bontempo for the latest. Olivia?
Thanks, guys. I'm standing in front of Morris Hall right now, where just hours ago, UGA faculty, students, and staff received an email of an ongoing gas leak. Security personnel were on scene clearing the area on South Lumpkin between Baldwin Street and Ray Street. At around 4:30 p.m., we received another email stating that the roads would be open again and that there was no longer an ongoing threat. As you can see behind me, there's cars going up and down South Lumpkin. Students are walking into their Morris Hall dormitory and people are walking on the sidewalks. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Olivia. The meat and poultry industry is one of the largest polluters of the U.S. waterways. A 2021 study from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency found it discharges high levels of contaminants. The study also revealed that many faculties send their wastewater through publicly owned treatment plants, where pollutants, including nitrogen, may not be fully removed before being returned to the waterways.
Behind me is a map of the Georgia's Dirty Dozen. Those are the state's 12 most populated waterways. The Georgia's Water Coalition releases this list each year as a call to action, highlighting how lack of funding and weak enforcement allow pollution to persist. Last year's legal battles over the Dirty Dozen sites range from toxic chemicals contaminating the Conasauga River to a breeding facility down near the Flint River. Now Madison County residents fear the Broad River could be considered contaminating too, as they fight over proposed chicken renderings plant in neighboring community. Grady Newsource reporter Jack Keys joined us here in the studio. What can you tell us about this?
Well, DeAndre, one of the not populated rivers is the Broad River. This is such a pristine river throughout Georgia, and there are a lot of concerned citizens right now about the potential for an industrial plant in Franklin County. I spoke to many concerned citizens and some government officials about this topic. Let's take a look.
And I am putting out a call of urgency and desperation to protect the Broad River.
That was one person who spoke up at last week's Franklin County Board of Commissioners meeting. This was the scene outside the Madison County meeting on Monday night. Approximately 200 water-conscious residents making their voices heard. So many of them that the building was full to capacity.
I had to go up to a lady at the front door and ask if they'd be kind enough to just let me slip in. Had to stand the whole time wearing cowboy boots. It's a little uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, but worth it for those concerned about a possible new chicken rendering plant in neighboring Franklin Springs.
It's literally the well, it's the water that I live off of and that so many people around here live off of. And to poison that essentially would be a great travesty.
Earlier this month, Franklin Springs residents were made aware of a chain of emails between Pilgrim's Pride, the second largest chicken processor in the country, and local officials. These emails were from 2024 and discussed the potential for the construction of a chicken rendering plant next to the city's proposed new wastewater facility. The news came as a shock to many.
We feel that we need more transparency.
A lot of just lies in general about what's coming and what they're planning.
And at this juncture, nothing but radical transparency is going to work.
The concerns lay in the long-term health of the river, which stands today as one of the cleanest in Georgia. In 2017, Pilgrim's Pride was fined $1.4 million for polluting waterways in Florida and violating the state's Clean Water Act.
Where this rendering plant is planned in Franklin Springs is going to dump their wastewater. It's going to come right down through Madison County.
Madison County's Board of Commissioners signed a resolution to protect the river on Monday night, a move made in collaboration with 5 other counties in hopes of keeping industrial waste out of the Broad.
But my warning to Franklin Springs is you're way over your head.
But Franklin Springs Mayor Lee Moore is confident that the introduction of any industrial plant wouldn't be detrimental to the health of the river.
We're going to uphold everything to the utmost to keep that river cleaner.
Moore reaffirmed that no contracts have been finalized by Franklin Springs for the sale of the land off Highway 145. He did say, though, that he'd be open to the construction of a chicken rendering plant.
I have no problems with a plant that is built the correct way.
So by signing that resolution, Madison County joins a few other local counties, including Franklin, obviously, Elbert, Lincoln, Wilkes, and Oglethorpe, who have joined together to try and fight back against this proposed alleged industrial plant in Franklin County. When I spoke to the mayor of Franklin Springs, he said he wasn't necessarily against the presence of a chicken plant, which leaves a lot unclear for the future of the Broad River in Franklin County. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jack. The chance of you knowing someone who has undergone fertility treatment may be higher than you think. In fact, a World Health Organization study found that 1 in 6 people are affected by infertility.
Now, bills codifying and offering coverage for in vitro fertilization in Georgia are headed to the governor's desk. Grady Newsource reporter Shelby Watson has the story.
Not every woman gets to walk into a store like this as a hopeful mother.
And they tried for about 5 years to get pregnant, tried everything, it just didn't work.
Treatments like in vitro fertilization or IVF provide solutions for the increasing number of women undergoing fertility treatments.
Probably like 7 years she tried the fertility drugs, they tried naturally, they tried pretty much everything before that.
IVF isn't always a guaranteed solution when wishful mothers walk into a women's center. Last year, the Alabama Supreme Court ruled frozen embryos are children, causing clinics to stop services. Now, one bill aims to clarify the language of what IVF is in the official code of Georgia law. Another will require coverage for standard fertility preservation services when certain medical treatments cause infertility. For babies born through IVF, making sure the service is continued is crucial.
I think it's very important, and people that otherwise couldn't get pregnant are having babies because of it.
Mothers like Suzanne Guy says she understands why legislators want to support the beauty of childbirth, but
the IVF industry at its core is inherently an industry based on greed, dirty, unethical behaviors behind the scenes, and playing on desperate parents' emotions.
For both these women, the issue of IVF is life or death for very different reasons.
Challenge us, see if we are telling you the truth, do your own research, but children will die, and that's not acceptable.
I'm glad that it's protected because, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have a twin brother.
The bipartisan bills passed the Georgia House and Senate almost unanimously. They're now on their way to the governor's desk to potentially be signed into law. Shelby Watson, Grady Newsource.
Lawmakers are in the final days of the 2025 legislative session, passing legislation that will affect you.
Once Friday comes, Governor Brian Kemp has 40 days to decide if he wants to sign the bills that passed into Georgia law. Tristan Bird joins us live in the studio to explain which measures took center stage this year.
Yeah, that's right. There are a number of bills waiting for Governor Kemp's approval. Here's several that could affect you and your family.
There's school safety, the death penalty, and tax cuts top the list.
We are just a few days from sine die, so we're going to see what happens to some of these bills.
Some key measures include House Bill 268 that gets all Georgia counties to create a statewide behavioral threat management operational process. House Bill 123 makes it easier to prove intellectual disability in death penalty cases. Another key bill waiting for Governor Kemp's signature is House Bill 111. It reduces the state's flat income tax rate from 5.39% to 5.19%. Currently, Georgia is at a 25% probability of recession, according to the 2025 economic forecast for Georgia.
Whether we have a recession or not, Georgia is well positioned to outperform the nation. So if we avoid recession, we'll have growth that is well above the national average.
Another economic effort the General Assembly passed was tort reform. Legislators say the goal is to protect businesses from fraudulent lawsuits.
The governor's focus this year was on what is tort reform. It's like the ability of people to sue a business or institution or something for, maybe something like negligence or some harm was given. And in terms of success, the governor seems to have been very successful in moving that legislation.
Once Governor Kemp takes his 40 days to approve or veto bills, July 1st is generally the day all of these bills go into effect as law.
Thank you, Tristan. Stay with us. After the break, we'll be back to tell you about accomplished members of the Barrow County school system and a community festival.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand, trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Welcome back, and congratulations to all those recognized in Barrow County by Superintendent Dr. Dallas LaDuff.
Yeah, covering education issues in Georgia often entails hard news and student learning and safety. But beyond the challenges, there are success stories.
That's right. One being Maria Dolores Mihura, a custodian at Hulsenbach Elementary School who is being recognized for exceptional efforts within the school.
The first awardee of the night, Ms. Nieta, was followed by 96 other talented members of the Barrow County community.
With kindergarten student actors, Young Georgia Author Award winners, star student and teachers, Governor Award semifinalists and finalists, exceptional winter athletes, the State Athletic Director of the Year, and the Barrow County Robotics Team. Cycling through the applause, speeches, and photo opportunities, the school board meeting was packed full of proud families, friends, and community members.
Lee Bain, the Director of Innovative Learning for Barrow County, summed up the evening perfectly.
All of the honors tonight, y'all let that sink in. Like, there's a lot of people here for great, amazing reasons, and they're all mostly under the age of 18. It's an amazing day.
Grady Newsource reporter Megan Pastino will be with us next Monday to take a look into one of the student organizations recognized last night, one that brought along a visual aid. DeAndre, if you don't already have plans for Saturday, you may want to stop by the International Street Festival.
With more than 2,600 international students from 125 different countries, 20 cultural clubs from UGA will be present at the festival. Grady Newsource reporter Ion Bakley joins us live from downtown Athens with all the details. Ion?
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the intersection of East Broad and College Avenue, where the festival will begin, and it will go all the way down to Clayton Street. The 26th year of the festival will kick off at noon and will end at 5. Organizers are expecting anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 people on Saturday. Athens is set to celebrate culture from around the world this Saturday. From live music and performances to different activities and foods, the International Street Festival will have it all. Posters from 20 different cultural clubs will decorate these tables.
The founders saw that there was an opportunity to really highlight the diversity that was here in the city of Athens. They really wanted to take what was here at the university and bridge that gap to the community.
Dudley says this year's festival comes at a time when international students may need more support. Some immigrants live in fear. Zain Ali, the vice president of the Pakistani Student Association, emphasizes the importance of normalcy.
Graduate students love to come to that event because it reminds them of back home.
But the festival isn't just for those who miss home. It's also a chance for others to learn.
The main goal of a National Street Fest is to show those who aren't of that culture, those who aren't Pakistani or Indian or Bengali, about the different organizations and what they're all about.
Organizers say that the festival is a great way for the residents of Athens to experience the richness of the culture here. For more, back to you guys at the desk, Aaron and DeAndre.
Thank you, Ann. Newscasts regularly feature stories about crime and punishment. Tonight, we have a story for you about how one program tells a different story. For the past 6 weeks, 17 Athens-Clarke County inmates have spent time in class together, learning career skills and taking college-level courses.
Grady Newsource reporter Alana Jacobs joined us here in the studio. Alana, tell us about your day.
Yeah, today I went to the Athens-Clarke County Jail to celebrate with the inmates who are graduating from the re-entry program. Some of the work that they did is right here on the screen. They painted this mural and took college-level classes. Someone completed their GED. They had so many accomplishments. This program has been 6 weeks long, started in February, and I have some stories from each of them and the work that they've done, and I can't wait to share that with you on Monday. But for now, I want you guys to hear from one of the program directors, who's Shane Sims. Here's what he had to say about his story.
So I myself went through a 20-year sojourn within the criminal justice system. At the age of 18 during my senior year of high school, instead of going to West Georgia College and becoming a physical therapist, I was sentenced to life plus 15 years in prison for an association charge. And looking back, I realized that I didn't have anyone initially to talk to me about, okay, how did you get in this position to begin with? I always did well in school, you know, I was a socialite, so to speak, but there was something inside of me that drove towards these maladaptive behaviors, as I call them. And so I met a mentor early on that really looked into me and helped me look into myself, and this was in prison, and helped connect me with those sources and to heal at that point. And so what I realized that my purpose in life is to help other men do the same thing. And so what I've learned is that as long as you do it consistently, have the right intentions, the outcome are relatively predictable, that people do heal and they become better people.
There were plenty of people there to celebrate the graduates today, including Sheriff Q. Williams, who said, if you don't think that we care about the people here, then you must not have been in this jail. Again, I'll have the story for you guys on Monday. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Alana. Rain, heat, and a weekend full of surprises. Mother Nature is keeping us on our toes. Will you need an umbrella or sunglasses? DeAndre Harris will have your full forecast coming up next week.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. a place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please. I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Your home before sunrise. On top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. From stormy skies to summer vibes, today's weather is bringing the thunder, but the weekend forecast might just be a sizzler. Will the sunshine stick around? I'm here to tell you that right now. If you're heading out today, you'll want to keep an umbrella handy because we have a few thunderstorms with a high of 79 and a low of 65, but on Tuesday, it'll be mostly cloudy with a high of 86 and a low of 64 degrees. But the storm potential is not over yet. Don't put your umbrella up just quick because the sun is coming out with a high of 89 with a low of 64, mostly sunny. And then coming into Saturday, it's going to be high of 89 with a low of 65. Bring the umbrella back out on Sunday with a high of 83 and a low of 55. The weekend's wishy-washy, but welcome to Georgia, folks. Back to you.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far.
A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back. We have a lot going on in sports in the next couple of days. Today we saw the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Regional Games start. Tonight, if you're keeping up with the goals, the Washington Capitals have a game where Ovechkin might get one game closer to the goal record. Thursday, we have men's tennis UGA versus Florida at 5 p.m. in Gainesville. Friday, the Braves start their home opener against the Marlins, still looking for that win, but UGA versus Texas will start at 7:30 p.m. for the first time that they are SEC teams. The NCAA men's basketball Final Four games, Auburn versus Florida at 5:09 p.m. and Houston versus Duke at 7:49 p.m. On Sunday, we have the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship at 3 p.m. Those games have yet to be decided who's playing. After this break, we'll hear more about Jam for Cam's success from this past weekend.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
My Shiro doesn't always wear a cape, but she always has time for a hug, a smile, for going the extra mile. My Shiro stretches every dollar, puts in long hours, puts others first. But now it's your time, Mom. When you're ready to retire, we want you to be able to enjoy it. It's time to start saving now. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to start boosting your retirement savings today. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. Holly Kate, what do you have for us with Jam for Camp?
Yeah, downtown Athens was buzzing this weekend with more than 15,000 people packing the streets for the first ever Jam in the Streets Music Festival. The festival was a huge success, not just in turnout, but in impact. The Jam raised nearly $500,000 for cancer research. And take a look at this drone footage that captures the energy of the night as headliner Milky Chance takes the stage, keeping the crowd on their feet. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thank you, Holly Kate. That's all we have for tonight. I'm Erin Pegenkoff.
And I'm DeAndre Harris. Make sure you stay updated on GradyNewsSource.com and follow us on social media at Grady Newsource on all platforms.
We'll see you on Monday at 5 p.m. Thanks for watching.
Good night.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
You're home before sunrise, on top of the house, the kids, and our future. The smell of your cooking is our alarm clock. My Shiro's day is never done. So let's start saving a little more now so we can feel prepared for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give us the personalized tips we need so we can live our lives to the fullest. Visit aceyourretirement.org.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us for this Grady Newsource post-show critique. We thank you always for watching, and make sure you check out all our socials and keep up with the news that's happening throughout the day, the week, the month here in the Northeast Georgia area. One of the things that you guys did remarkably well today was exactly what I was just talking about. DeAndre first let us know that he got an alert about the gas leak, and then he hustled and he went out there and got the information. DeAndre, give me your big learning today from that.
Be alert, be vigilant, and get an interview. Don't leave empty-handed. I love empty-handed. Sorry. Be alert, be assertive, get an interview, don't leave empty-handed. I wasn't just there to shoot you. I was there to get information. To do that.
Well, okay. Can I just do the yelling and not you yelling at yourself?
Okay.
No, clearly when you go on, you all do have a difficult time because you're multi-platform journalists and you do so many things by yourself that once you would have a team, okay? But you don't. So it's really difficult at times when you're being told, get out there, get the information, get on social, tell us what's going on, come back, do something for the broadcast, write something for the web, make sure you follow up, et cetera, et cetera. So you really have to be in the moment. The other thing is, when we have breaking news happen, as we've had a couple of times, I need to see you all have more of a bias for action. If a news director has got to come out and go, what are you doing? Go, 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 go. The next question the news director is going to ask himself is, does he need to replace you? Okay, or she need to replace you? So let's see more of a bias for action. It can't just be me or Anna or somebody who's going, come on, come on. And sometimes we get information, we just throw it out into the ether and we think somebody else is going to handle it. We all are the somebody else's, okay? So urgency. Time matters. It has always mattered. It matters more in this environment. I was really proud of the fact, DeAndre, that you got out there, you got the stuff up and you got it back because police were turning people away. That was news that people need to know in the moment. So great job with that. Today you also learned why we are having a bias for action and getting our work done as early as we can. I know in the mornings it feels like a long day, and sadly now that you all are so much more competent than you were at the beginning, now you feel like you got it all together, and so you're like chilling and dancing and singing, snacking, having a good time because you got your interviews in the can and everything's squared away. And next thing you know, you're like, oh my goodness, I better get on it. And you know you'll be fine. And you know what? You are. Except somebody else may have an issue. And when somebody else has that issue, we get a domino effect. So I want you to really think, whether it's a reader, whatever it is, if you know something in the morning and you can do something in the morning, get it done. Get it done, get it up in the server, get it out of the way. Today we had two truly late-breaking stories that we couldn't do anything about. And Jack got his in, but if we'd have had something ahead that, like we've had so many times in the past, where people waited and all of a sudden we've got a transport issue, or rather an export issue, then the whole cast can go like dominoes. Today didn't. That's in large part due to the expertise that you've achieved and attained, and the fact that Kira's been the SPM for 100 years. Okay, maybe 2. Please tell us what you need from us.
What did you say? Yeah. I don't know which one he wants me to be in. Okay. My first thing is a shout out, because this was a really, really fun show. It was a really complicated show, but a shout out to your producers. There were so many moving parts in this show. You had, I think, 3 people live in studio, 4 live in studio. You had 2 different live shots. I made like 17,000 2 boxes today. So you had such like an interesting, dynamic, fun show today that I really, really loved and appreciated, and I'm sure that your viewers loved as well. Because it keeps us engaged and it keeps it really interesting, so I really, really appreciate that and loved it. You had 3 live shots? 2? How many live shots did y'all have today? 2? I don't even remember. So that was really wonderful. This is my message every week, but if you're gonna do really fun, awesome, wonderful shows that are really fun and awesome, can you be fun and awesome earlier than 4:57? It's hard for us when we don't have your content because we can't prep. Today it was like 4:30 and we were trying to figure out what all of these boxes were going to look like, and we were simultaneously looking for your packages, and it's hard to do both. It's a lot easier for us to only have to do one or the other. So that was a little difficult for us. But your A block, especially today, went off without a hitch. I'm giving Jennifer a shout out. She was our technical director today, and she killed it every single step of the way today. But yeah, if we could get your packages a little bit earlier, that would help us out. And then my other reminder that I give all the time, if there is time, if you're the person at 4:57 and you can't check your video, totally chill. But if you finish your package at 2 p.m., watch it through after you export it. Today we had one package that the file was 35 minutes long, and we were so confused. And it was just like, whoever exported it, there was something at the end of your timeline that like you didn't remember was there. And when you exported it, exported everything. So there was like this 33 minutes of black at the end of your package that we didn't need to see. It didn't air, we managed to catch it, but like, check for that, and then also check when you export. We need your packages as MP4 files, and we need your graphics as PNGs. Our TriCaster freaks out. Like, we can't air your stuff if it's a JPEG. We can't air it if it's an MOV file.
Did we put in an MOV? We don't do that.
Today we had a JPEG instead of a PNG, which is not the end of the world. We ended up being able to fix it. I don't even know who in here fixed it for us, but somebody did. So it was not the end of the world in the slightest. But if we get your JPEG at 4:57, it's less likely that we're going to catch it. Today we caught it. But yeah, check that if you can. Please, love you. And then my other shout out of the day is that everyone balanced their audio really awesomely, and Sabrina on audio had the easiest job ever today, so we really appreciate that in the world of tech.
In the world of getting you to air, period.
On that side of the wall. But yeah, today was really fun. It was a great show. Y'all did awesome. All of your content was great. And despite the chaos in this room, like, it was really, really clean to air, so great job. Who am I giving this to?
You can sit right here.
It was a really, really good show. And you guys, you know, and I've mentioned this the other day, you guys are doing a really good job covering real news. Olivia, you did a terrific job on the live, you know, coming up at the last minute. It sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, it's important to kind of be enthusiastic about what you're doing, because it puts a lot of stress on the people back here if their conversation is, oh, she doesn't want to do it, blah, 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 what do we, you know, just be enthusiastic about what we're doing, and afterwards say, don't you dare ever send me on something like that again, which is not what we're saying. But, you know, it's really important when we make a decision to move forward, then we move forward together, right or wrong. There's a time that you just, you know, unless you see that something drastic is going to happen and you're warning us we're about to put the ship on the rocks, if it's not that, then please just move forward, especially when it's really late in the day. Alana, we had some technical challenges, but you did a good job punting with your story. The soundbite was a little long. Okay, it was a lot long, but it was, you know, as far as soundbites go, it's one of the more compelling things. It did at least make me want to hear more from these folks. You did a really good natural job with the ad-lib. I'm not sure anybody believed when I said she's going to ad-lib the other. Well, no, doesn't she? No, she's going to ad-lib it. And that comes, Alana was able to do a credible job because she was very invested in her story, and she knew her story, and she knew the facts, and, you know, she could have chatted and chatted and chatted. Jack, you did an amazing job. Your story, you've just become like, you know, the Madison County person, except for with Jimmy Patton. But Jimmy Patton, that's Eddie Newbert's Madison. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm just riffing here. That was a really good and important story. It's going to be important to follow this stuff up. All right. Legislative. Shelby, you're going to do something on Friday for Monday about Sendai. That's good. And we need to get together and talk about what you all are doing moving forward past the legislative season, and that'll be good. Ian, you did a nice job on the live shot. Yeah, that was really good. Good job. Might have helped to talk to a few more clubs if possible, a little bit more diverse, since we were talking about 20 cultural clubs. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy some of the levity you're bringing. Holly Kate, really good job with yours. I didn't see anything in the show that I would go, OMG. I will say what I told Anna and Blake. If we don't have video in sports on Monday, we're just going to kill it. I mean, I got a room full of sports people and I can't get video in sports. Help me. I mean, isn't that the reason? I mean, like, would you like have somebody just talk to you about the Super Bowl going on and not be able to see any of it? No, sports is the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and we get to see it all. So a sportscast, and I know there's some celebrity sportscasters, and I love them, and they're marvelous, and I can't name one. But I promise you they're reacting to something that we all get to see together. The sports experience, I know this much, is a shared experience. So we're going to have that. So we'll kill sports if we can't get video in it, okay? It's just not worth it. I think those of you that have done sports without video have done a very good job, and I think it's been really good for you to have that practice on camera. But especially if you're a sports person and you do that, I'm allowing you to do yourself a disservice. So I'm loving you through it. Okay, DeAndre, you talked to us a little bit about what your learning moment was. I want to tell you again, I appreciate how you and Aaron are working together on some of the stories. I'd like to go around the room now and just talk about, hey, we are more than halfway through. We've got our Sojo show coming up. I want to hear from you all, what are some things that you want us to work on? What do you feel like really good about that scared the living daylights out of you at the beginning of the semester? What do you want to focus on now? I have my thoughts, but I want to hear from you. Jack, can we start with you?
Me personally, what I want to focus on.
Yes.
Well, I just spent my last day reporting, so I guess I'll carry it into my Sojo piece, but I'm done with my long haul of 6 weeks of reporting. But if there's one thing that I think I can improve on when it comes to the Sojo, gosh, I haven't given much thought to this. What do you think? I don't know.
I think what would help you all is to sit down over the weekend, take a look at your first few stories, and then take a look at where you are now. And it's in that space in between that I think you'll find where you've got more opportunity.
Yeah, I think, thinking about it, I just want everything to flow, like, just better. Make it, you pointed out a small detail in my script today, and I'm sure there were other small details that you didn't point out, but just trying to maintain a level of conversationality, if that's a word.
It is now.
Yeah, sure. Maintaining that tone of conversation throughout, and just having the package just flow, as if you're having a normal conversation with the viewer. I think that's my goal for the Sojo piece.
And I think that's really important, and I think you need to make that your goal for the sport you plan to do in your future. If you've got, are you going to anchor?
I'm anchoring next week.
You're anchoring next week,
yeah.
That's right. Okay, I knew it was coming up. So that should be your goal next week, that every script you read, treat it like it's yours because you're anchoring it, and make it a conversation. Because ultimately that's the goal. Remember, your big head's floating in people's living rooms, and if you're on digital, sometimes you're like in really intimate spaces with your audiences. So you might as well have a one-to-one conversation. And if you can all learn to write that way, oh my goodness, be unstoppable. And you know what's more important than that? The viewers get to understand things. That the things, I'm not going to get on my journalism high horse, but things that, but for you, they would not know. And that's really important. But for you, they would not know it. And I would add to that, and their lives are measurably improved when you tell them, and measurably not improved when you don't. Measurably hurt in some cases. I have no doubt that Jack's story, and especially when we put it out on the web, is going to make a difference in that community. No doubt about that at all. I have no doubt that when Alana's story goes out next Monday, that's going to make a difference. Informing people is, it's a high honor, but if we talk over their heads because we don't fully understand, or we don't want to take the time, then we dishonor the honor that they've given you, okay? So really work on that. Man, I just made it hard, didn't I? Oy. So, yes, great goal.
I would like that piece today to go on YouTube, just so people have a reference point.
Yeah. I'm proud of y'all for wanting to do that. Excellent. And I'll be, what'll I be? I'll be hanging around. I'm in a class from like 1 to 3:30, but I can, you know. All right, I can't. I'll take a break. Okay, Erin, what about you?
So I'm done reporting besides the last week. I'm on Instagram, so I guess...
You're still reporting?
Yeah, well, it's not my main job, but I still have to know the news and report on it.
But it's a main platform, and more people are going to see your work there than here.
For Instagram, I feel like I need to have a lot more conversation. I know on Monday or something we were going over a script for something, and you're like, you're writing for print, you're not writing for TV. And I feel like that's going to have to change again when I go onto Instagram. For my Sojo piece, at the end of my reporting stint for TV, I just got around to being much better at writing to my video, so I want to carry that over. And those are like the two main things that I think I need to focus on for like the last week of our show.
Can I tell you how happy I am not to hear, I can't get the second interview anymore, I don't know what to do. Think about that a minute. That used to be just part and parcel our entire day. Not anymore. Olivia.
I think for me, one of the things, especially with Sojo coming up, is I just want to work on asking like those deeper questions. Like my phone call today with one of the restaurant owners started off like kind of a little rocky. Like it was just sort of basic questions like, when did this start? When did you come to Athens? And then when I started asking those bigger questions, because we had kind of built up that connection, he started telling me about his childhood and how his dad used to take him to this restaurant in Texas because...
I saw that.
And so that was like a whole thing. And I think moving forward with Sojo, when I go back to Barrow, I want to apply that. I think for me, it's a lot easier to relate to the Athens people because I live here and I frequent at these restaurants. I am around them, and so it's easier for me to relate. But I want to carry that over into Barrow when I start working on my Sojo and just like really getting to understand my interviewees and ask them those questions that they can really open up about.
So what Olivia's just mentioned is critical, and I'll tell you the dirty little secret to that. If you care deeply about other people, you kind of want to know their stories, right? And each one of you has at least demonstrated to me that once you get over your own fear of interfering with people, being a bother, you know, all that stuff, yet you guys do care deeply. You care deeply about the people and you care deeply about their stories. Let the courage of that caring carry you through to being able to ask those important questions, because it really is just about relatability. Good for you. Thank you for pointing that out.
I think what I want to work on and I just still struggle with is, you know, when I have my interviews and I have my story, it's sitting down and writing and where do I start? Because, you know, I have all these ideas in my head and everything, and it's really hard to just like sit down and organize it in a, you know, organized news way, and make sure not to bury the lead and all that different stuff. It's still kind of hard for me to just like be in that mindset. So that is something I want to work on. And, you know, today when we were looking at that one bill about the death penalty, you know, I still need to get better at like reading legislation, and if this is my beat, you know, I really have to understand this stuff, and I need to take the time to read these bills that are going to impact people's lives and make sure that I understand it and make sure things aren't going over my head, so that I can communicate it to people and make sure that it doesn't go over their head. And so just kind of making sure that I'm slowing down when I'm reporting stuff like that, because it is confusing. This language is confusing, and just making sure that I'm doing a good job, a detailed job.
So Tristan, you can give yourself more than just a little grace here. I'm really proud of how you and Rachel and Shelby have gone to work for the General Assembly. I promise you I've sent reporters who have done worse stuff because they didn't understand and then they tried to pretend they did. And I don't think there's anything worse. When you're doing politics and doing real legislation, fake it till you make it is not going to work real well. So I think you can have a little mercy on yourself, because you have had a twofold challenge. You've really had to learn about a system that frankly most people don't understand. And you've been immersed in it and at a very politically socially divided time. So the sheer courage that you had to go do that was amazing. And the pushback that you got, I know, was substantial. And I think you guys did a phenomenal job. So, that said, you're also not attorneys. And you know what? Few reporters are. So a little secret, don't beat yourself up for not understanding what it is, but do find yourself some people who can help. And that's where I constantly encourage you, go ahead and talk, you know, get to know the people that run the Senate comms and the House comms. They're busy, but I promise you, they would rather find you someone to explain it to you properly than to have you get it wrong and then have you tell the person that's mad at you, that's what your comms person, they would. So, you know, be diligent about that. Don't beat yourself up for not knowing. You cannot know everything. I've said a million times. You guys are going to be jacks of all trades, masters of none. Your career will always be more than fun, because every day you're going to be learning something new. Every day you're going to walk into stuff, I have no idea what this is. Oh, goody, I get to go find out. But you're not going to be an expert at the end of the day. But you should know enough to be able to find the experts so you can communicate and distill from something you understand. Give yourself a little grace in that. Focus, and a good tip is to write down what's the most important thing today. What's the thing that might impact me, my mom, my dad? You know, we're all inherently selfish. And if you can answer that, that'll get you on a good start. But give yourself a break here. I think you guys have done great.
Do you want to go? Okay. I'm kind of going to speak.
He's fine. We talked.
Okay. I'm going to kind of speak on like reporting, because my first week of reporting is next week. And I've obviously learned so much from all of you guys that have been reporting, which has been such like an advantage. So obviously.
Can I time you out? What do you all think you're doing on social media?
I know.
Having picnics? Come on, young people.
I know, which also like.
If you digital natives don't get that that's where people are going to be.
No, I know that's where people are going to be because I've seen it. I've seen how.
And where they are?
We had like 8 viewers today. I was telling Jack, and then on YouTube we have like Rachel's reel is at like 1.2 thousand, and I posted it this morning.
You're going to be, guys.
So
you're
like,
going to be working
okay,
in streaming environments. It's reporting, storytelling.
Okay, but I think that when we think of reporting, and what all of you guys tell me reporting is you're like, oh my gosh, Holly Kate, you're gonna like, blah blah blah.
I think the only thing when it comes to TV reporting that stresses people out is the deadline.
Yes.
I think with digital, obviously, we can be more flexible, and like, we don't want to spam post everything from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday and Wednesday, so we have like the flexibility to maybe, if we can't nail down that interview on Monday, we could do it Tuesday morning and throw the piece up. I think like the stressor of TV comes with the 5 p.m. deadline.
So let me tell you a horrible secret. Yeah, you think you have that because the platform allows you that? Your bosses aren't going to allow that. If somebody else beat you to the punch on digital, they beat you. Because you know what, on digital, if I see a story, if I get a notification from one of the gazillion news sources that I have that send me notifications, and somebody's gotten to me first with something, guess where I'm checking all day? Right there. Even if I get notifications from other people, I might look at them for a second, but there is, that's a platform issue. I think you're going to, I know you're going to find that when you're in that digital world, fast is going to be even faster. And your challenge is going to be to resist that pressure. Okay, but you should resist that pressure on television too. It is, but nobody remembers who got it first. They will never forget who got it wrong. Okay, but go ahead, Holly. But let's shift our paradigm, guys, about what reporting is. I don't care if it goes out over smoke signals, visual storytelling. Go.
I think that I need to take with me "Don't Bury the Lead," matching my video.
You do that on Reels anyway.
Okay, I don't know. Like, can you tell me something I need to do?
I think you've been terrific at the reporting you've done so far, and I have every confidence you're going to remain terrific. I'm not concerned.
Thanks, Kendra.
Yeah,
Okay.
you demonstrated
guys.
some.
Okay, wait, but also I just want to make sure that like Olivia's right. Lining up my interviews in time. But you rock, Kendra. Thanks. That was so kind.
I think for Sojo, I actually really took the whole character conversation that we had earlier in the semester into my story today. And I think like even I was more drawn to it with the character there. So I think I want to include a character in my Sojo story. And then also not underestimating or overestimating my abilities to edit quick because stuff happens. So
yeah, and that's what happens when you all get really, really, really good. That's when you start chilling and playing and goofing because you're not scared anymore. And that's when something happens. The internet dies, and then you have a tough time. All right.
I think mine would have to be like making the story human. I think that's something I've been working on really hard throughout like all my stories, and I think today we did a really good job. And like, you still had to like tell me exactly like the juxtaposition at the end of the story of the two different opinions.
We brainstormed.
We brainstormed, but I would like that to be something that comes a little bit more natural, that I have these two great, like strong, passionate opinions, and why wouldn't I juxtapose them between like each other? So that's something I really want to work on in my Sojo, because solutions journalism really has a human element, and I think it needs to be highlighted. So
I was really proud of your work today, Shelby. There's never been any question, right? All semester, she gets it. She gets the legislation. She does a great job, and we love her work, right? And she goes on too long. And sometimes she bears the lead. But
bury the lead for
today, well, yeah, welcome to our world. But today, when I first proofed her story, I was like, wait a minute, she's in a baby shop with baby clothes. And it was very exciting, and I thought your story was incredible. It had all the hallmarks of Shelby intellect and detail, and all the humanity that I know resides in you, and I'm happy to see in your stories.
I appreciate that.
For me, I think, I guess I'm kind of like beating that dead horse, but for me, I think for my Sojo story, I do want to practice writing to video a little bit more, because I know like I sent you like my reel or whatever, and you were like, this is perfect, like writing to video, but like honestly, like that was really easy, because I was like, I was doing a day in the life, like I was like, this is what I'm doing, XYZ. So like
no, but the thing is I watch y'all's reels, video. We were having this conversation online last night. I'm like, help me understand. I'm like, video reference, and yet when I watch your Instagram reels and stuff, you guys video reference like crazy people, because you get it.
And then you write. Yeah, it's like it's like video making coffee, and then she'll be like, I'm making coffee.
I am making.
Making the coffee and literally be videoing it.
But it's not like she wakes up and writes her script like, okay.
So yeah, no. And then we're gonna edit before we script.
No. Okay.
Oh.
Still no. But I'm thinking. You know, we've talked all semester. DeAndre. He's waiting to give me this one. Let's talk about that, because I think there is something. I think there is a happy medium that's going to help us get more of that marvelous authenticity that you all have in the digital realm, and you need to bring to TV, because I think you can help television. There's still going to be old people like me that really just want to sit there. Okay. Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Tanvi and Ayan.
Thank you.
Come join the rest of us, please.
I don't know why I'm hiding back here.
And we've got like probably a minute and a half.
Okay, I'll be quick. I think my main goal going forward, because I'm going to be reporting, and then especially with Sojo, is I want to get more creative, especially with stand-ups and things like that. I feel like some of the stuff that like the packages and stuff, like it'll be a good package, but I'll go back and watch it, and like maybe I wouldn't even watch that, you know? So just getting more creative with it and making it more, so
Truth.
that I would watch it.
That is the best test. You're at the beginning of the semester, I go, do the story that you share with your friends. Okay, Ayan.
For me, I think there's a couple of things that I really want to work on. One is the creativity with the stand-ups, right? even today with my interviews, I tried something different. I stopped in the middle of the interview and tried a different angle. I don't know if you saw that in the package, but I wanted to try something different because I know when you're just watching, you're like, okay, like this is fine, and then you come back to the person and it's the same angle, and
Right.
it's just like kind of repetitive. So I
It
wanted
is,
to try
and
something different.
Smart.
With
That's smart.
that. And then I also want to work on my storytelling. I feel like I pick out the good sound bites and then just connecting them. And sometimes I hit the human element and sometimes I don't. Today I kind of felt like I did, but I also didn't. So maybe that's an area of improvement for me as well.
Okay. All right. So big shout out to our producers really quickly. These last two, yeah, some really powerful work from both of them. What would you guys like to share?
With Sojo? About
Anything that you're feeling like we need to hear.
To them? Not what they were just answering?
Just say something about the show.
Okay, oh yeah, well, y'all were answering a different question, now we're answering, okay.
You can answer that question.
I'll just say, I thought the show was really good, lots of really great things that were like, a lot of big stories, lots of things that was kind of hard to choose where to put them, just because there was so much good. One thing moving forward, it would be really awesome that if y'all already had like a reader or reader idea by the pitch meeting, just so we can already have those. Because it's so much better to be over and having a lot of stuff, so that we can cut stuff out. And I know it'll be easier for me next week when I'm producer, and also for people moving forward when they're just looking to cut stuff rather than fill time. So yeah.
Anna?
Yeah, I agree with what he was saying. I think when we do our pitch sheet, definitely add a reader into like that second slot or third slot, whatever it is, even if it's not anything to do with your beat, because oftentimes we find ourselves like, okay, we need something else, and then times like today, like I had to be on the microphone being like, okay, run through your weather, run through your sports. So it's better that we would have to cut something versus being like super under. I thought it was a great show. I really like what you guys were doing. You guys are getting like real interviews, real stories. Like this is like a real news show, and I think it was really cool. I'm glad that we're doing intricate things like worrying about the 2 boxes in lower thirds. So I'm really impressed with you guys and all the stories that you've accomplished. I appreciate people like DeAndre running out trying to get footage of like the gas leak and things like that. And people that are doing things that they'd never planned to, like Holly Kate jumped in for a little kicker at the end. We needed something a little more lighthearted we wanted to end on. So that was great, just a short little reader going with the flow. Same with Alana, she couldn't get her work in, but she managed to get out live in studio, ad-lib it. Jack did the same thing, had some great ad-libs. I even said like, wow, he's a great reporter. It just sounded very natural. Both y'all did great. So to be at this point in the semester where we're not freaking out about just getting plain packages in, and y'all are able to go out and do that is really cool, and it makes it a lot more fun as a producer to be creative with the show versus just worrying about if the packages are in or not. So I'm proud of that, and I thought it was a fun show. Producing's a lot of fun.
Producing's the best. I was bringing that right to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you notice anything different about my face today, Kentrell? Was I shiny? Because
No,
Tristan
you were
found me
not.
today.
That's good.
Yes, she did. Come on, Glam. Will you be here next Monday and Wednesday as well? Period. Get your own Glam Squad, okay now? Don't poach. No, Sojo, what I want to say I was talking to Mickey about it earlier, and she was giving me really good insight, because I have had a lot of hardships with Clark County schools, so I think I need to start emailing my people now, so I can start setting up those connections now. Cause we talked about it. I'm going with the story with the Clark County School District. So I think that's my thing. I can't keep letting that be a roadblock. I can't let that be an excuse of, I don't know who to talk to, because that's not an answer. So I think that's really what my issue was. And that's kind of why I kind of avoided Clark County School District, because I don't want to talk to them.
Well, thanks for sharing. Have a little counseling session about that a little later.
Andrew, are we done now?
No, you're still live in front of hundreds of people.
Hi, Mom.
This is out on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, it does.
So I think that's one thing I have to worry about. But I'm actually pretty excited, and I'm also kind of nervous with Sojo, because I really don't know what it is.
So I'm going to share that with you all, and I will send you guys something over the weekend reminding you of the 4 pillars of Sojo. We can have a brief conversation about them. It's not hard. It's just the codification of what we ought to be doing anyway as journalists. Yes?
So is it like, are the people anchoring that week, are they still anchoring what they already put together a package?
Let's play around with that.
I think we should have multiple anchors. If it's an hour show, multiple anchors.
So all the people that
We also have our farewell show too.
don't have
Yeah, the people that have not had a chance to anchor, we are going to get a chance to anchor with this.
And then I feel like the farewell show will go multiple.
And Blake, since you're the producer next week, I want to go live on the building, anchoring on the building, on the roof.
So let me share something. Hey, y'all, you reminded me of
On the
something
roof.
really important. Today Shelby did something that would really help all of you, and I know some of you are probably doing this on the daily. But remember when you used to call and go, I can't find anybody, nobody will call back, blah, blah, blah. So Shelby had that issue today. We never heard about it because she thought about, she probably didn't think about the diagram per se, but you remember when I talked about, that the kind of your decision tree and how, well, if I can't talk to this person, who else might know and who else might know? She's doing IVF. Went to, 4 different clinics, nobody talked to her. She went to a baby clothing store. And she got somebody that was vehemently against it, and she got somebody who was born because she was an IVF baby. So, but she thought, what else is connected to IVF beyond IVF clinics? Well, babies, motherhood, baby clothing store. So I want you all to consider that, the tentacles of, and if you keep thinking of news as real live human stuff, you'll be led that way. All right, thank you for joining us. Goodbye. Great job, everybody.